So basically, this is a test of your knowledge while waiting for others. Can you have it in a chat box? What modalities you have experienced in your class during COVID-19 pandemic? Okay, you can answer A, B, C, D in your chat box to see if everyone is here, whether it is a blended learning, asynchronous learning, synchronous learning, or face-to-face class. Can you type it in the chat box, please? Okay, just an engagement while waiting for others. Okay, can you see it, Dr. Irfan? Are they answering?
I'm just waiting
Uh, okay, can
for
you
the.
read it to me? Because I think I cannot read it here in my,
हम्म
because in my slide.
वो
Okay,
वो एरवन कह रहा है कि जो हमारी ऑडियंस है वो बस चार ऑप्शन दे रहा है A B C D। इनमें से कौन सा आप जो है वो पसंद करते हैं, वो चैट बॉक्स में सिर्फ वो A B C D मेंशन कर दें, ताकि भी उनको ऑडियो आइडिया हो जाए कि वो हमारी जो ऑडियंस है या जो करंट सिचुएशन है वहाँ पे स्टूडेंट किस तरह आप एंगेज करते हैं।
is there someone answering already, Dr.
C
Irfan?
C
Some of them C,
two of
other
them joined C.
okay, answer C. Okay,
C.
synchronous. So they are using Zoom or Google Meet to have the synchronous learning. Okay, good. How about those adopting asynchronous learning, wherein you're going to just have a pre-record yourself via Zoom also, or you can also have you can upload your your PDF files, okay, for the student to read. So there are a lot of modalities actually. So for this time we cannot have letter D, face to face, no. So as of the moment we are working from home, so we don't usually go on for face to face in this pandemic. Now, as we all know that we're moving on to pharmacy research and innovation of the new trends, in the innovation of pharmacy services, usually they are moving into telehealth counseling. For I think majority of the healthcare providers, they're doing already, even dentistry, even also with physical therapy. We have tele physiotherapy. I'm not sure with dental, teledental with that, no? So telepharmacy, telemedicine. So everything is already in a virtual case, no? And usually this is a challenge for us in terms of evidence-based drug evaluation, and of course moving on to more trends in terms of research and development for vaccines, no? So that's the newest trend nowadays for pharmacy research and innovation of the new trends. Now, moving on to this with the slide, this is a major trends for our research and innovation policy. So the main policy are moving towards the detection of the virus and of course the detection of the treatment for this particular virus according to World Health Organization, whether it is into the medical side or in the social science side, there are a lot of discoveries to be done according to World Health Organization. So it can be an animal species, it can be strengthening in terms of immunity, strengthening in terms of the risk factors for health, care, exposures, and others. So this is actually the research and development blueprint according to World Health Organization. There are different phases, and phase one will be on the defining what to be the research outcome for the country and facilitating then to coordinated research action and then scaling up for the production and innovation for this kind of vaccine development. Okay, so this is according to World Health Organization that focusing on the development of vaccines. Now, moving on, as we all know that there are a lot of cases for the discovery of vaccines in the country. So as we all know that It can be a viral vector vaccines. It can also be a DNA vaccine. It can also be an RNA vaccine, a live attenuated vaccine, or it can also be a protein-based vaccine, or it can also be in terms of the pro-inflammatory response. Because as we all know, that majority of what had happened in COVID-19 pandemic in an ICU patient, that there are increasing of the pro-inflammatory cytokines. So there is what we call as cytokine storm, no? Wherein IL-1, IL-6, IL-4, no, the pro-inflammatory macrophages are already increasing. So in that case, that will actually cause this inflammation in the lungs that will cause your patient to die. Okay? So that is actually the discovery then. And most of other companies, even Pfizer, even GSK, even in manufacturings from India, from Northern America, in Canada and all, they are moving towards the discovery to the race to fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Now, there are also treatment then, as we all know, come and go in terms of the chloroquine, no, chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine. Before it was already been withdrawn, but now it is already in place for clinical trials then. No? So, but there is a logic behind why is it that WHO actually withdraw at the same time also have this hydrochloroquine again for clinical trials then. So we have remdesivir, lopinavir, and all those for solidarity trials for most of the countries, countries that are undergoing the solidarity trials. Now, moving on with this, there are also what we call as convalescent plasma therapy. So this is actually moving into an inactive immunity or passive immunity for a certain patient, but this is not correlated then for those active immunity, like for example, for vaccines. So there are a lot of qualifications then if you want to donate. If you're a COVID-19 patient, you want to donate your plasma, there are also qualifications. And one of the qualifications then is that you need to be negative in terms of RT-PCR, and then you need to be quarantined for 14 days before the said donation of plasma. Okay, so that is all about convalescent plasma therapy. So there's a lot of things to be researched on, not only with health, but also epidemiological, animal environmental, that will be led into a candidate therapeutic effects for vaccines. Okay, so that would be also for clinical management for COVID-19. There's a lot of things already going on for herbal supplements, and a lot of things also going on for immunity also, like in lingua medicine in China, that is already starting for clinical trials in Thailand and Laos, and also other parts in the world. No? So even the president in Madagascar already said that, hey, this is the treatment for COVID-19 pandemic. No? And the WHO actually debunked that there's no treatment yet for COVID-19 pandemic. So there's a lot of things going on in terms of herbal supplement for immunity. So we should be, as a healthcare professional, we need to really regulate, and we really need to see if this is really effective for COVID-19 pandemic. Even WHO already supported that there is really a proven traditional medicine. But for COVID-19 pandemic, there's none yet. Okay? So there are misconceptions regarding artemisia, no, other herbal supplements, but like for example, virgin coconut oil in the Philippines still for clinical trial nowadays. And this is actually 3 tablespoons to be given for certain patient. Okay, in one meal there will be 1 tablespoon for them, and then this is still for clinical trials. Okay, so that is happening in Philippine General Hospital in the Philippines. There are a lot of things that boosting for immune system. I'm not going to go on one by one, but they are acting as immunomodulatory effects for certain boosting for immune system. Okay, let's try to test your knowledge. What are the function of virgin coconut oil? I'm sure all of you are experts in pharmaceuticals and herbal supplements. Okay, letter A, disintegration of the virus envelope, inhibit late maturation state in the virus replicate cycle, prevent the binding of viral proteins to the whole cell membrane. Okay, can you answer A, B, C, or D? Okay, let's have an engagement. Dr. Irfan, can you read in the chat box?
जी जी वो ये पूछ रहे हैं कि ये जो चार ऑप्शंस हैं वर्जिन कोकोनट ऑयल के, इसमें से तीन ऑप्शंस हैं, वो कैसे फंक्शन करता है। नंबर है डिसइंटीग्रेशन ऑफ द वायरस एनवेलोप, इनहिबिट लेट मैच्योरेशन स्टेज इन द वायरस रिकल्पेटिव साइकिल, सी है प्रिवेंट द बाइंडिंग ऑफ वायरल प्रोटीन टू द होस्ट सेल मेम्ब्रेन, और डी है ऑल ऑफ द अबव। तो इनमें से जो आप समझते हैं वो आप चैट बॉक्स में मेंशन कर दें, ताकि फिर उसको हम आगे देखते हैं कि क्या इसका वो एग्जैक्ट है।
Okay, what answers, Dr. Irfan?
I am still waiting.
So we will send
I think all of the
a
above.
gift. Okay, they're still thinking. Okay. So we will send it to the deans, your answer. Okay, what's the
Still waiting.
answer?
B1 is
Doctor, question from my side.
Yes, Dr. Sajid.
Yes, yes. So, did you study the psychological impact by this COVID-19?
I think there's a lot of studies with regards to psychological impact. So I
Yes.
think we have collaborated with one of the Malaysian university and also nationwide study with regards to psychological impact of COVID-19 pandemic. I think that's the stress by the World Health Organization to vary also with research on psychological testing.
Did you agree the WHO policy? They are changing start from February now. They are changing their statements. Before they were saying that there will be risk with symptomatic and asymptomatic both. Now they argue that their statement can there is no distance from the asymptomatic patient, where though no signs of symptoms are there for COVID-19. And before they agreed that the oxychloroquine is recommended, then they after 2 months, 3 months, they again their statement came that it should not be recommended. Now they recommended dexamethasone. What's going on this WHO?
Science is a developing process, so I think there's a logic behind why is it that WHO actually withdraw hydroxychloroquine because of the some possible side effects, no? Particularly on the cardiovascular. But then, with regards to the entry again of hydrochloroquine, because I think there is a possibility that it may have a cure, no? But then, like for example, the dexamethasone that was already also having a positive impact. So science is developing. It may have a recall, and of course, going back again to the normal therapeutic management for certain patients. So, like herbal supplements, also there's a lot of things going on. Whether it may be a fake news or it may be a real news, it depends upon how scientific we are in dealing with this process. So I think there's a logic behind why WHO withdraw that.
I think they want to give some benefits to the pharmaceutical industry. When their benefits are over, they will say refuse. They will say no, don't stop this medicines. I think so. Their policy is this.
As we all know, there may be political, economic, all in all, I think there's connection with that, no? Uh,
Hmm.
it's ever since, no, whether it's before pandemic, during Spanish flu, it's also political and economic that we are
Hmm.
dealing with. So I think all of these are in the scenario of political and economic situations that we have.
So they are playing with the with the public by making it fear, by first creating fears, then make them psycho.
There are news with that, but we don't have a scientific proof. Then, if evidence says that it is really biological warfare or political or economic side. So I think
Hmm.
there are factors affecting.
Okay, and
Okay, let's go.
one of the participants said it is B.
B. Okay. Okay. So all of this actually have this function. Letter D is the answer. We're in. You are correct. Letter B. uh, B, A, and C are all correct. Okay, because virgin coconut oil not only disintegrate, but also inhibit and prevent the binding of viral proteins of whole cell membrane. So there's a lot of studies that have an evidence on that, no, on virgin coconut oil. Okay, even HIV/AIDS patient have the significant impact for virgin coconut oil also, no. But it needs to have a certain concentration to achieve that. Okay, moving on. There's a lot of things going on for pharmacy practice. We need to be vigilant and we need to be going into immunization for our patient. I think all of us healthcare team should work together for immunization because uh, why immunization? Because I think this would lead into secondary infection, especially for flu, pneumonia, tuberculosis. That will create no tremendous effect, especially secondary infection for our patient. So this are initiatives in the Philippines. And also, why is it that need to be immunization taking part in the community pharmacy? And of course, looking at how significant it is and the barriers that we have in terms of immunization. Now, moving on to these challenges that we have is the price of the medication. As what Sir Professor Sajid have mentioned about, are the government actually playing this? Is it political? Looking at the price of this medication, remdesivir, having with this 5,000 to 10,000, no, per week of therapy. Can we afford this kind of 5,000 to 10,000 US dollars having this treatment? I think I would rather die with COVID-19 rather than having to have this 5,000 to 10,000, not only in a week, but then, of course, sustaining to your life, having with this COVID-19 pandemic, it will be tremendous. I don't think that people, no, poor people can actually afford this. Okay? So majority of us already in healthcare team are doing telepharmacy, telemedicine, so dealing with patient. So it's already online. And these are our initiative publishing our work with different publications, even tourism, what's the impact of this. And also these are my references. And then thank you very much for this opportunity of engaging with all of you. I think we can open with open questions, no? With questions.
Yes, yes. Is there any question from the participant? करना चाहे तो आपने आपको unmute कर ले तो question जो है वो पूछ ले. इसका क्वेश्चन है तो अपने आप को अनम्यूट करके तो मैंने अलाउ कर दिया है तो वो एरवन से अपना क्वेश्चन जो है ना वो पूछ सकता है.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Sir, I
वाह.
have a question. I want to know about the vaccine production because they have discussed about protein-based vaccines can be produced. So, as well as I would like to answer the mechanism of its production.
I think I
because
got
because my bundle of students ask about its mechanism of production of such kind of vaccines in our labs. I would recommend that inshallah sooner we are working on it and we will do it. So kindly explain its mechanism of its production, and I can guide to my students, and they can utilize this technique in our colleges in pharmaceutical technology projects.
I think
Thank you.
that's a very good question. I think all of us are in the race who would like to discover for COVID-19 pandemic. I think if you're going to, if you're the one who gonna discover this COVID-19 vaccine, you will be a millionaire. That is why Pfizer, Glaxos, no, and others are actually moving towards the discovery of this vaccine. So guiding with your student for vaccine, I think it will be a longer period of time to guide them, no, with this. So let's move on to number one with this viral vector vaccine. This viral vector vaccine is actually uh, a replicating. So there are two kinds of viral vector vaccine. We have replicating and non-replicating. So the one that is replicating is the one that is the example would be a weekend measles. Okay, that is one of the replicating vaccines that we have in the market. At the same time, like Ebola vaccine, so that's one of it. At the same time, these are the ones that replicate in the cells. Okay, that replicate within the cells. And usually Johnson and Johnson and Geovax and others actually leading to this discovery of viral vector vaccine. Johnson and Johnson, J&J. And then we have also non-replicating vaccine like the adenovirus. This is a non-replicating vaccine, adenovirus, no? But this is quite very complicated, no? But some of they are doing it for non-replicating viral sector or viral vaccine. Okay, another one is a DNA vaccine. So what is all about this DNA vaccine? So at least 20 pharmaceutical companies or 20 items actually developing this one. Okay, these are leading by Innoveo Pharmaceuticals, Enovio, okay, Enovio Pharmaceuticals, with some Chinese pharmaceuticals. They call it as Beijing Advaccine, Advaccine Biotech. Okay, so these are the ones estimated. I think they're going to develop this one for April 2020. They're already developing this kind of vaccine, no? Wherein they will try to use genetic instructions, okay, genetic instructions in the form of DNA or RNA for the corona protein that actually protects an immune system. Okay, so that is DNA vaccine. While if that to be RNA vaccine, these are leading pharmaceuticals like Cure. We have also Moderna. I think this is a very famous pharmaceutical, Moderna, and some of the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. They are the ones who developed these RNA vaccines. And we have live attenuated vaccines. These live attenuated vaccines are using LAV technology. What is this LAV? This is live attenuated vaccine technology. Examples of this like measles, BCG vaccines, no, and rotavirus vaccines that already available in the market. So some of the pharmaceuticals like Codagenex, no, Codagenex, and other US and India pharmaceuticals are looking at this live attenuated vaccine. And lastly, we have protein-based vaccines. These are leading pharmaceutical like Novavax, Clover Pharmaceutical, Biopharmaceuticals, GSK. They are developing this one in June 2020, this month. Now, in the development is of this protein-based vaccine. Okay, and we have also others like immune response vaccines. Okay, so that is actually some of the vaccines. I hope I answer your question. That there are pharmaceuticals already developing this kind of vaccines, and they are big pharmaceuticals. We don't be too ambitious in our laboratory that we can make vaccines in our own lab. No, no, no.
Yes. No, no. Thank you so much, Erwin Feller. I got your answer because I'm recently I'm teaching about recombinant DNA technology, and I got my answer from all of these. And multiple firms are working on it. It's fabulous. Inshallah, June 2020. Uh, Inshallah, protein-based or immune response-based vaccine will be produced. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask from sir who is hosting, who is organizing this meeting. Sir, Dr. Irfan Suleheri sir, can you kindly share us the link of the meeting because it's highly informative session.
Sure,
And
sure, sure.
I would like to answer that सर काइंडली हमारे साथ इस तरह की बार बार आप ऑर्गेनाइज करवाएं ये मीटिंग बहुत अच्छी है और इसकी वजह से बहुत माइंड भी ओपन होता है क्योंकि हम पढ़ाने वाले लोग हैं हम इंशाल्लाह इसके अंदर और से नई चीजें भी ऐड करवा सकते हैं थैंक यू सो मच सुलहरी साहब एंड थैंक यू सो मच एरविन सर अल्लाह
जी 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 मैं श्योर ये जो है ना ये रिकॉर्ड दोनों सेशन रिकॉर्डेड होंगे तो इंशाल्लाह जो मेरा यूट्यूब चैनल है वहाँ पे ये मैं अपलोड कर दूंगा तो उसका फिर लिंक भी आपके साथ मैं शेयर कर दूंगा तो वो ये दोनों रिकॉर्ड इससे पहले मैंने एरवन का सेशन किया है रोल ऑफ हर्बल सप्लीमेंट्स वो भी यूट्यूब पे अवेलेबल है तो डॉक्टर साजिद
ओके
बशीर
सर काइंडली शेयर योर यूट्यूब चैनल
जी
आई
जी
विल
जी
इंशाल्लाह
जी
थोड़ा
जी
चेक
आपका कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर मुझे शेयर कर दीजिएगा मैं फिर वो आपके साथ शेयर कर दूंगा तो डॉक्टर साजिद
ओके
बशीर आपकी तरफ से कोई क्वेश्चन हो
वो बस मैंने उनसे थोड़ा वो साइकोलॉजिकल और उसका दरमियान में पूछ लिया अच्छा नाइस प्रेजेंटेशन है उनकी ये एक अच्छी आपका स्टार्ट है आई अप्रिशिएट योर एफर्ट्स तो आई कांग्रेचुलेट डॉक्टर इरफान फालर्स फॉर गिविंग मी such a nice information so and I appreciate him during this COVID-19 condition he spared some times to give valuable information to the people of Pakistan. ठीक है?
जी जी बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है तो बड़ा अच्छा आपने एज अ रिस्पेक्टिंग एज अ हेड ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट आपने इसको वो ज्वाइन किया तो इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट वेबिनार लगता है मुझे आपके इंस्टीट्यूट में करना पड़ेगा
नहीं इंशाल्लाह अभी करेंगे इसको मैनेज करता हूँ लेकिन देखें दरमियान में मैं आउट हो जाता था यहाँ पे असाइनमेंट भी चल रही है यूनिवर्सिटी में मैं हूँ
जी
इस
जी
टाइम ऑफिस में हूँ
जी जी बिल्कुल
तो
ऐसा ही
बीच
है
में आउट हो जाता था फिर दोबारा इन हो जाता था
जी जी
लेकिन
बिल्कुल
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मैंने ओवरऑल पूरा ज्यादा ही ज्वाइन किया
बिल्कुल
अभी
ऐसा ही
जुमे
है
का टाइम हो रहा है
जी जी जुमे का टाइम हो रहा था नेक्स्ट टाइम हम आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी को टारगेट करते हैं डॉक्टर एरवन को हम वहाँ पे इनवाइट करेंगे और एक आपके वो इंडियन है डॉक्टर ज्योति मिश्रा साहू वो भी तकरीबन आपकी नेचर की ही है तो उन दोनों का मिलके करवाएंगे आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में
इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह
इंशाल्लाह ठीक ठीक so thank you Erwan for your this lovely and very productive presentation on effect of COVID-19 on education health and economy on behalf of Islam Medical and Technical College we have a token of appreciation of E certificate let me show you
Sir, it was a very informative session and I have learned a lot of things. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is your e-certificate, Erwan. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will email you on behalf of Islam Medical and Dental College. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing
Thank you
this,
very much.
for sharing your very productive session on effects of COVID-19. And inshallah, next time I will invite you on Dr. Sajid Bashir University. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Thank you.
Collaborations or whatsoever, we are very willing to collaborate also with your professors or academe for further collaborations later.
Okay. Okay. Sure. 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 थैंक यू आपके आपके जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट हैं उनको वो अटेंड करें असल में ये टाइमिंग कुछ ऐसी है कि हर कोई जो है ना इंस्टीट्यूट के वो कोई असाइनमेंट में बिजी है नदीम इरफान साहब को मैंने कॉन्टेक्ट किया वो भी बिजी थे फिर युवास के हैं डॉक्टर ताहिर महमूद खान, वो भी अपनी वो सिंडिकेट की मीटिंग थी, उधर सारे बिजी, टाइमिंग कुछ वैसी है जो हर के लिए उस टाइम पे वो ज्वाइन करना नहीं होता पॉसिबल। भला ये रिकॉर्डेड है तो इंशाल्लाह यूट्यूब पे मैं ये सारा जो वो शेयर कर दूंगा। तो ठीक है, थैंक यू जी, थैंक यू अरविंद, थैंक यू आपके वो
Thank
पार्टिसिपेंट का, थैंक यू, टेक केयर, गॉड ब्लेस यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू।